Let's talk about a TCG player scam that they tried to hit me with today. So, I'm pretty new to selling on TCG player. Honestly, I've only been doing it for 5 months. My first month, I did about $75 worth of sales. And this last month, 5 months later, I did almost $2,400 in sales. Not a single issue. As a matter of fact, I get beautiful reviews on TCG Player because I take care of the product that I send out. I take care of it when I open it. I've taken care of it its entire life. I'm an ex-player turned into a collector, turned into a seller on accident because one day I just wanted to get rid of a few cards and it snowballed into actually selling. Let's see. So my cards come straight out of the pack into a sleeve and into, if they're over $1, they get sleeved and they get alphabetized to make them easier to find and quicker to ship out, which is another thing I get compliments on all the time because I ship same day every time, all the time. And I live in Wisconsin, people in California and Florida, I've seen packages delivered 2 3 days later, which is insane because whenever I order anything, for whatever reason, it takes weeks to get back to me. I don't know if that's due to sellers on TCG Player putting in the shipping information then just waiting to send it. I'm not sure. I'm not going to point any fingers. That's not what this video is actually about. So I had a scammer try to get me the other day, and I went on YouTube to see if there's any other videos about the specific scam. Well, anyways, let's start out. Let's take a look at this card here. So this is, oh man, you can't really see it. Oh, there he goes. There you go. Perfect angle. Right? Yeah. Is a binder ding. So this card is a card that I got on a Goodwill auction. And I love the dark. It's an old card. It's back in my playing days. But, you know where this card sits? It sits in a sleeve on my desk with all my other cards. Why? Because I refuse to sell a card with a binder ding in it. It ruins my brand. Why would I do that? This can go for $10 near mint, but it's damaged, and I don't want to take the chance of sending somebody a damaged card. So, Mr. Scammy Whammy decides to send me a message on TCG Player. The two brand new Atraxa Grand Unifiers that you sent me both have the same exact binder ding in them. It was obvious. They said obviously stored in the left upper corner of a binder. They specifically told me where in my binder that this card was. Guess what, genius? I don't put cards in binders ever. Ever. If they're over $1, they go into a sleeve, they get alphabetized, and they get put standing up. They don't ever go into a binder. Why? Because a binder ding. Why would I ruin my brand? I don't even make any money doing this. I do it as a hobby. I do it for fun. I did $2,400 in sales this month. You know how much I've spent on cards this month? More than that. Well over $2,000. Actually, well over $3,000. In the 5.5 months I've been doing this, I'm still negative over $2,000. Do I have the inventory to make that up? Yeah. Is it going to take time? Yeah. Eventually, my business will go into the black and I'll start making money. But you know what? I'm not going to take any of it because I don't care, because I don't need it. Because what I want is to open packs and I want to sell singles and I want to do a good job doing it. And I want to continue to get good reviews. And what I really think happened is I sold these two Atraxas a few days ago and they shipped quick. They got there within a few days, right? I sold them for $23 a piece, which for an Atrax is not a bad price. But guess what? I checked today, just because this is my theory. Yeah, and sure enough, it went down to $20. You know what this kid was trying to do to me? Oh, I'll just tell him these cards were damaged and that he's a bad seller. So he'll give me 5 or 6, $10 off, right? Brings it back down to the current market price. Win-win for this guy, right? Wrong. Because I can prove very easily to a TCG player that I don't use a binder, ever. I have all my cards alphabetized in rows. Like, they don't ever touch a binder. They don't go anywhere. I don't even have a binder in my house. All right? The cards that I give to my children don't go into binders. They go into the inserts that come out of, like, fat packs. Can't call them fat packs anymore, guys. The bundles, right? Those things are perfect for holding cards. Like, not for me, because I have literally thousands of cards, so they don't go in those little tiny things. But my kids' cards, why not? That way you can pick them up. You can look at it. You can see them. Like, a seller on TCG Player, if you're a seller on TCG Player and you keep your cards in a binder, you're wild. You're a wild man. Guess what? Why? So every time you get a new card that starts with the letter S, you can shift your other 100 cards with the letter S over. So why in the world would you do that? You wouldn't. You can't. You can't run volume and keep your cards in a binder. I'm sorry. Is there a chance that someday, like, I'd try to buy collections. Not been very successful in buying collections, but I'd like to. So if anybody wants to sell me a collection, I'm here. Check me out. Facebook, After School Special. I'll buy your stuff. I'll buy all of it. Come at me. Anyway, guess what? If your card has a binder ding in it, depending on what it is, if it's the dark, if it's revised, if it's unlimited, if it's beta, if it's got a binder ding in it, I'm going to take it. But you know where it's going to go? It's going to go on my desk, in my binder ding card pile, because I'm not going to sell it to you. Because I don't need that reputation of a guy on TCG Player that's going to sell me a card that he claims is near mint, but it's got a binder ding in it. Why would I do that? My margins are already basically zero. It costs almost 30%. Did you hear that right? 30% to sell a card. You wonder why a store will only give you 50, 60% for a card? Oh, they're ripping me off. No, they're not. TCG Player charges 14.5%. I don't even want to tell you what U.S. Postal Service does to me, and lately they have been terrible. That is where I lose the majority of my money. And they started kicking stuff back that meets their own shipping specs. Don't get me started on that. That's a whole nother video. Anyway, depending on the costs after products, tax, seller fees, USPS postage, other fees, you'll hear YouTubers say, oh, don't worry about the fees. Don't worry about the fees. They won't get you. And that's the problem. People aren't paying attention to the fees. I'm a very financial guy. I nitpick. Why? Because I do this as a hobby, and I can afford to lose a little bit of money because it's not my primary job, but it'd be nice to at least break even so I can buy more product, right? It costs me an average of 25 to 30% to sell a card. So I just round that up to 30%. So if I buy a box for $100 on the open market, I have to sell every single card in there for $130 just to break even. And then it's icing on the cake. I might make a couple dollars, and then I'll go out and buy stuff for my collection. But you get Mr. Scammy Whammy out here who wants to say that a packed fresh card that went straight into a sleeve, never touched a binder, has binder dings so you can get a few dollars off. Guess what? You get a full refund. You want to send it back? Go to the local U.S. Postal Service and see how much it costs to send it back to me, because you're not going to be very happy with how much that costs. And you're going to sit on it, and you're going to love it because the card I sent you was near mint, and you're a scammer. Congratulations. Have a nice day. Check us out at After School Special on both TCG Player and Facebook.